Macmillan Audio presents Beach Town by Mary Kay Andrews. Read for you by Kathleen McInerney.
Chapter 1. Greer Hennessy needed palm trees. She needed technicolor green fronds swaying in wind machine-enhanced breezes with some Dolby sound crashing waves. And was it too much to ask for a Panavision wide shot of a sun-kissed beach? Wasn't this Florida? Instead, the only trees she spied through the bug-spattered windshield of her rented Kia were part of an endless wall of tall, spindly pines, underplanted with miles of palmetto clumps. She'd landed in Panama City 3 days earlier. Before leaving L.A., she had browsed the Florida Film and Television Commission website, which featured photos of every imaginable kind of scenery in the state, from the dark brown ribbon of the Suwannee River lazing through the northern edge of the state, to the green pastures of Ocala horse farms, all the way down to the funky conch cottages and banana palms of the Florida Keys. Day one of her journey, she'd taken one look at the wall-to-wall high-rise hotels and condo towers lining Panama City Beach and headed west on US 98 and then over to 30A. She'd found palm trees, yes, but also an infestation of cuteness in planned beach communities with picturesque names like Seaside, Rosemary Beach, and Watercolor, which hugged both sides of the road on 30A and reeked of taste and money. The houses were as colorful as the community names and oozed magazine cover potential. Pretty it was. Sleepy it wasn't. The beach roads were clogged with BMWs and big SUVs, the highways crowded with outlet malls, convenience stores, and strip shopping centers. The Gulf of Mexico, or what she could glimpse of it, was pretty enough, textbook turquoise, contrasted against sugar-white sand. Perfect for a Chamber of Commerce brochure, but lousy for the kind of gritty location she was seeking. At the overpriced condo she'd rented that second night in Destin, she asked around about nearby beach communities. Greer usually divulged her occupation and mission only when absolutely necessary. "I'm looking for someplace quiet," she'd said to the waitress at a pseudo-quaint breakfast place called Eggs and Joe. "Maybe a place with old-timey mom-and-pop motels? And, like, shrimp boats, maybe?" "Mexico Beach," the waitress said, presenting her with a $14 check for a bagel sandwich. But Mexico Beach wasn't it. Apalachicola was next. Plenty of shrimp boats and oyster boats. She parked and walked around a bustling marina that even had a pier, snapping photos with her cell phone. "Not what I had in mind," Bryce Levy texted back. Greer got in the Kia and drove, following the coastal Florida highway as it headed south and east. She had high hopes for a place called St. George Island. There she found a general store, a couple of motels, and a few scattered T-shirt shops. Sandy roads traversed the island, and large multi-story houses stood silhouetted against sea oats and sand dunes. She shot photos of the beach, one of the motels, and the entrance to the state park, and emailed them to the producer/director. Her phone dinged a moment later with his text. "No." She thought again about the one brief meeting she'd had 2 weeks earlier with Bryce Levy, the newly anointed boy wonder of Hollywood. Her best friend, CJ, was in the honeymoon phase of her fling with Bryce, and had somehow managed to convince her new boyfriend that Greer was the only location manager experienced enough for his next big film project. This, despite the fact that Greer's last location scouting job had literally ended up in highly publicized flames, with lawsuits and finger-pointing and a near-fatal blot on her previously flourishing career. CJ herself had driven Greer to the meeting with Bryce, which he'd insisted.
"Sample complete. Ready to continue?"